Evening. Welcome to Combe TV. What are we at now? Crikey, episode 78. Good evening to you and welcome back. We're getting very, very close to the action starting. What are we at? The 1st of April, is it? The first race meet. So we're getting very, very close. And that's why I thought it was a perfect time to bring the management team out, because we've got a whole raft of things that we're going to cover. We got the facilities manager, the marketing and sales manager, the events manager, the commercial manager. We're going to get updates from all of them. We're going to start one at a time because they're going to have plenty to talk about, I have no doubt. Oh yeah, thanks Rich. First action days next month, so in March as well. So absolutely loads that is getting close to happening now, and it's really, really exciting. So going to get the updates. Keep your comments in, everybody. Ben Hindle, evening all. Good man, you were the first one this time with your comment, so welcome Ben to this evening's show. Great to see you. Right, let's get the first person out. And it's the person we were missing last time, but he's not getting away with it this time, because we're going to be bringing out the facilities dude. Sorry, just catching up on the comments again. Caroline Sutton, evening all. Stuart Tinker Taylor says, my wife says dilly dilly, but I can see that she's too late. Yeah, I didn't get permission this time, did I, mate? But I've got the gin on the go anyway. Dilly dilly. Right, let's bring out, oh crikey, sorry, you're bringing them in. Evening doors, bring on media day. Of course, we're going to be previewing that. David Simpson says, evening. Sue Woodland, evening all. Evening to you, Sue. I'm sure we'll be seeing you at the circuit very soon. Right, come on, let's bring out the main man for the whole of the facilities now that got away without answering anything last time. He's not this time. We're going to bring out Steve Weston. Mr. Weston, how the devil are you, my friend?
I'm good, Chris. I'm good. Yeah, pleased to be here, obviously. Don't expect many questions for me because the other guys are on later on. So, yeah.
Well, you know, it was just one of those things, wasn't it? Last time you kind of went, well, there's no point me coming on because, you know, I'm only just starting all the work through the winter. So there's not much to say. In Sod's Law, it was a lot of questions and comments that...
Yeah, I clearly watched every minute of it, Chris. So I watched every minute of it. And yeah, I should have perhaps put some comments in the chat box, but no, I wasn't avoiding everybody. I was just trying to make sure that I had something to say, something positive to say. And at the time, there was a lot of stuff that wasn't quite there. But like you say, now that we're getting very close to the season, there's a few good positive things that I can talk about. So yeah, I mean, obviously the new entrance is the main one that people are going to see, I think, which is nearly finished. Next week, the scaffolding's coming down. If people saw the picture of the scaffolding with a bit of a teaser, yeah,
that's enabled the work to be carrying on underneath all of that as well, isn't it?
That's right, yeah. So it cost a bit extra, but it did mean that they didn't lose any days, and they've actually finished a few days in advance, which is a great effort, because when people see it, they will see how huge it is, because I've been looking at the plans for the last 12 months, and when you actually see the physical size of the thing, it's very, very impressive. It won't be quite finished, unfortunately, by the time we start it. Well, media day, I know we mentioned the action day, but for us, really, our focus is the media day, which I know the guys are going to talk about later. But the focus for me is to try and get it looking nice and tidy by the 16th of March. So we've got 4 or 5 weeks, and there's still a lot to do. So yeah, I think it's going to look great. It might not have any gates on it or signs, but we're working on that. But it's going to look great. And so the rest of the stuff inside, when people do arrive, some of it's been done, some of it hasn't. But you know, it's not for the want of trying. You know, like I say, Sean Gobert and his business partner, have done a really good job with the guys that have built the entrance, and Les and the team are working really hard to try and get everything else ship shape. But obviously, time's against us. We didn't actually finish on the circuit until the 24th of November last year.
Wow.
You know, that's the latest I believe we've ever run, track days, etc. And we started again on the 3rd of February. So, you know, now we're trying to sort of juggle getting things done when nothing's on track. And obviously there's an catering arts tomorrow. So, all those days mean we can't do certain things that we want to get done. So it's like I say, it's not for the want of trying. And the only other stumbling block is money, always.
Of course. And of course, it took a lot longer, didn't it? Because the plans had to be revised and all those kind of things over time. By the way, I hate to worry you. You said 4 or 5 weeks to media day, 3.5 weeks to be precise.
Yeah, that's 4 in my world.
Yeah.
Keep stretching it out. It'll be fine.
That's fine. No.
Yeah,
I mean,
it got
tweaked over the year.
Yeah. The planning consent, was a nightmare because we're in an area of outstanding natural beauty. So quite rightly, people didn't want to make it look like very industrial. So it's had to fit in. We can't do things like backlighting or things that were on the original plans. They had to go backwards and forwards. Part of the planning was to protect some of the trees around by the entrance. There's a couple that have had to come down because we had ash dieback, but there's plans to replant a lot of trees, not just along the fence line, but all around the site. It's part of a project I'm working on at the moment to try and get some trees back on the site where we're lacking. But the main ones are obviously going to be by the entrance where we took some down, and unfortunately there's a few more that will need to come down around that area that have been damaged in the recent storms and stuff. So it's not just us hacking at the trees and the bushes and stuff. We're doing what we have to do, and then obviously replanting and stuff will come a bit later. There was a comment that we should be doing it now, but I don't see any point in planting trees at this time of year when we may lose them or whatever. So it's all part of the plans.
Well, exactly, and I mean it's going to look amazing. It's going to be a safer approach. It's going to look fantastic, in terms of the approach. I think we've lost the castles, haven't we? There was hopes that there was going to be castles on there as well.
Well, I don't believe we have. When you see it,
really?
I think we will still have the tourists coming in thinking they are actually at Castle Combe,
okay,
as they do now. But you could call them what you like. They are turrets, castles, whatever. They are.
Cool.
It's going to be quite an impressive facade. So yeah, I think it's looking good. You touched on safety. Then one of the other big things we've done, which I know will cause an absolute riot when I speak about it, is the catch fencing at Quarry, which is been completed today. This is something that Motorsport UK have been asking for the last 5 years, and we obviously had COVID, which put a block on a lot of things financially wise because it's very, very expensive. So we've done another 50 meters around.
So that's carrying on sort of almost the exit of it towards the escape.
Yeah, from where it ended to around towards what we call Cooper's Gate. It's not all the way along. But it's very impressive to me because I've seen what's gone into it, the work that's gone into it. It's a safety thing. We've had cars, we've had bits of cars, we've had motorbikes in that area. So the motorcycle for the ACU as well, wanted us to improve the safety, and they're asking for a lot more. Like I say, that sort of thing we've just done is really expensive. So it's not something we can do lightly. No. The same with the Armco supports, which Motorsport UK want us to put metal supports in. But having started to look around and see what we need to do, the area between post 8 and post 10 down at Hammerdown, there's 90 supports in there in that section alone. So you can see how much we need to do, and it's not the work of a moment to just take a post out and put another one in when they've been in there a while, some of them, and the ground's saturated at the moment. So can you take a post out and put it back in? Probably not. And then you're talking about soft ground and trying to get access to it without cutting the place up. So there's a lot of stuff like that that needs to be done. Like
So the catch fence is further around. I know John Creech has said it would be good to see some pics. But appreciate safety has to come first. Creech is obviously thinking from a photo perspective. Sadly, absolutely the same as the other circuit. Safety does have to come first. I'm sure there'll be images of it in due course where we can see what it is for those that want to see it before they get to the circuit. But it's just it's not quite as far as Cooper's Gate, basically.
No, it doesn't. It's difficult to say, sort of explain it, but it doesn't go as far as the last speaker. So if people are used to sitting by the last speaker, then they could still sit by the last speaker and not have a fence in front of them.
Okay.
It might get a bit busy down that end if everybody wants to sit down the end with no fence in front of them. But
yeah,
I mean, the photographers, where the old fence stops and the new fence starts, there's a big gap between the two for access for marshals and people, photographers, so they can stand in the gaps. So they wouldn't necessarily need to move away from where they used to be. They just need to make sure that they're back, ready to move out of the way. Where they used to stand a lot, they would then have to back to the catch fence, which is not allowed. So, at any circuit, you're not supposed to stand in front of the catch fence. When you go to some of the other circuits, that you have no choice because the catch fence goes all the way around.
Yeah.
But as with everything else, you just need to be in a safe place. That's what it's all about for spectators and everybody else, the marshals and the photographers and anybody involved, and indeed the drivers. Safety is paramount. So, we have to keep trying to keep on top of all these things. And like I keep banging on about everything, every part that I'm covering tonight, it's all cost. Everything costs money, and it's not a bottomless pit. And
you have to justify to Graham every time, don't you, when it's working on something?
Absolutely, yeah. We've got a board that we justify ourselves to now. So it's you go and sit at the end of the table, this big long table with 5 other people at the other end, and every comment is I would like to do this, I would like to do that. Yeah, justify it. I'd like to do the FIA light system. That is now over £400,000. So justify that. I can't, not at the moment, when we've got other things to spend money on, like catch fencing and other improvements. The toilets is something else that's cost a lot of money. I know the first comment that came up after we said about the entrance on Facebook when we announced it was, what about the toilets? It's just the nature of the beast. You do one thing, you spend a lot of money and time and effort on it. What's next? Well, we have done some of the toilets. We haven't done them all. We've got 8 toilet blocks or more on site. Some that people don't actually use every day. The one at Chippenham Road, the one at Camp, and the one at Quarry have all had new roofs. Each of those roofs cost over £5,000. So, we can't do them all in one go. And as I said, we just haven't had the time. So, you can't have people up on the roof when it's blowing a gale and trashing the place. We've had signs down, we've had a lot of trees down in those 2 storms we had. And we're yet to get the tree surgeon on site to actually finish completing that, because he's done 3 or 4 days already, and we're still nowhere near. Camp Banking's closed off at the moment because there's too many trees down. So, it all adds up. The toilet, like I say, at Chippenham Road's been completely refurbished. So new toilets, redecoration.
Electric, isn't there?
Electric in there, yeah, with lights, hand dryers and stuff like that. So, that toilet there and several of the others, I think Quarry now, I'm trying to keep track of it, have got radar keys on the disabled toilets, which is something we're moving towards, which we should have had for years, in my opinion. So as and when we're refurbishing the toilets, we're bringing them up to standard as best we can. It's not easy. So, some of them are in quite remote locations, and the ones around by the rally field, for example, and around the back down at Tower, by Tower, just they're so far away. We don't have electrics in those positions, so we're looking at solar and wind power and stuff like that. So there's a lot going on. And also the main, I just mentioned the main toilet block in the paddock at present has had nothing done to it, but we've got planning for a new toilet block. So, is it worth spending those sort of amounts on a toilet block that hopefully, if all goes well, will be demolished within the next 12 months, 2 years. So, we appreciate the fact it's not great, but there's no point in doing anything if we're going to spend that. I'd rather spend that money on a brand new toilet block with new showers, disabled facilities, blah, blah, blah. So, we're not, we're very well aware of what we should do or could do, but we just can't do it all. So it's just trying to prioritize what we can and what we can't, And again, money wise, we've spent a lot of money on race control with the electrics being brought up to standard. And if you came up now, there's a scaffolding around race control because there's a new roof going on, or roofs because there's 3 or 4. But people won't see that. And it's costing a huge amount of money to do that because the building's so old. We just can't we can't do everything. We've probably done more than I would have expected, you know. And I know everybody. It's my job to spend money, as the other guys will tell you shortly. It's their job to make money, and it's fantastic. So keep up the good work, lads. But,
which, you know, I've got to say is that plenty of people have been coming in. I know that many of you are commenting and appreciate you running in. One of our sponsors, Mark Gardner, evening from Golf Race Fuels, has said hello. But there's plenty of them, Steve, saying, you know, well done to you and the team for everything that you've been doing. Jamie Peters-Ennis, who's off on his walk at the moment. Huge congratulations to Steve and the team for doing everything within their power and budget for making Combe what it is today. Sam Preston, evening Sam, he says, Steve gave me a sneak peek under the covers last week.
yeah,
I'm assuming he means for the wall, but
yeah, absolutely. I mean, there is a train of thought that, you know, we start putting all these pictures on as soon as the scaffolding comes down. We put loads of pictures on, but I think for me it would be much better if people just rocked up and saw it. You know,
I agree.
Come see us. The media day, which the guys are going to talk about later, is free to get in. You do need a ticket, but it's free to get in. And I might be stealing one of their thunder now, but you know, we've got a lot of people coming to that day just to see what we're doing and where we're going. So there is quite a buzz around that day already. So
Matt Coyles, who of course is the saloon car coordinator, even everyone, well done, Steve and the team, was at the track a couple of weeks ago. Looking good, Steve. If you need trees planted, give me or the Woodland Trust a shout.
Yeah,
is his comment. Now, you know, picking up on that trees one, and you did touch on that, is that, what do they call it? Dieback.
Ash dieback. Yeah.
Ash dieback, which is a disease that has affected the trees, which I see Brands Hatch have been struck by that as well.
Yeah, it's everywhere. I mean, we had a or I commissioned a site survey. Somebody came in and did a great job of doing a whole site survey. Took them 2 days. We've got a huge amount of ash dieback around the circuit. So if people start seeing trees disappear, and that's what it is. You know, and again, to do that, to bring this everything down that needs to come down at some point in the next 5 years is what we're talking about, is over £60,000. You know, where do you start? You know, what we're working on is the areas that are most highly populated. So, you know, the spectator areas, some of the car parks, this, that, and the other. There's some, like the woodland area at Quarry, we'd love to recommission that so people can get through there. But there's a huge amount of ash dieback in there, and at the moment there's several trees down across the footpath. So, you know, do you go in there and clear that up, or do you concentrate on areas where the public are going to be? And it's got to be the public areas, you know, and then we'll work our way through it as and when we can. So
Lloyd Smith asked a question, and I don't know whether you know the answer to this yet. He says, will you replant one for one?
The plan is to plant a lot more than we take out. So the camp banking, for example, was cleared a few years ago, but there's a lot of trees there that weren't necessarily ideal for the banking because of the way it dries out during the summer.
Right.
So I've actually got a quote on my desk for 200 new trees in that area, just that one area alone. Fantastic. And we are working with the Woodland Trust and several other people to try and see if we can, you know, reforest some areas and obviously, you know, go rewilding and stuff like that. There's some areas around by the back of Quarry where we've already taken a few trees down, but we're going to leave it as it is now, so it's safe, and we can attract the wildlife back to those sort of areas. So, you know, we're very aware of what we should be doing and what we're trying to do and what we're trying to achieve. So, hopefully, that will come this year during the summer months when we can get out there and do it a lot easier. But,
well,
you know,
Dan Blake even says, look forward to see season starting again and another great year of racing. Dan Williams says we could be brothers, apparently. I think that's just the lack of hair and the spectacles. It's my ice hockey buddy. It's not Thatcher's tonight, mate. I've actually got gin on the go this time, but they don't serve that at the Wildcats. BMMC Southwest say, great to hear about the improvements to the fencing at Quarry. Let's hope it's not functionally tested anytime soon.
Hopefully
I
not.
agree. Yeah, we don't want that. Lynn Hoy says, we appreciate what you've done. Thank you very much indeed for that one. Incidentally, and well done, Steve, you reminded me about this in a message, is that we also want to take the opportunity to send our heartfelt commiserations to Chris and Emma Mason. Chris's father passed away, I think it was today, wasn't it, the message?
Yesterday, yeah.
Yesterday, sorry. Christopher Mason, his father, passed away unexpectedly. So our hearts go out to we've got Emma as the safeguarding officer, and of course Chris you'll see often in the green of the paramedic outfit. So heartfelt thoughts. Thanks for reminding me on that one, Steve. Appreciate that one, mate. So main entrance. A whole load of the toilet blocks, catch fencing, roofing on the race control. A lot of projects going on with trees as well. Some that are forced due to a disease that affecting trees across the whole country. You've been a busy boy. That's the best way to sum that one up, isn't it?
It's not me. I just apparently sit in the office and do absolutely nothing. But it is a big team of people that work on this all the time. They've been putting the cells out the last 2 days and managed to just get it finished before the storm we had today, which is now, there's a lot of standing water at Combe at the moment. So yeah, good effort to all the guys that, the maintenance team and the guys that come in and help them out. So there was a big team of people in the last few days that have worked really, really hard. So 2 days to get all the rector cells out is a fantastic effort. So it's not, it's not me. I won't take the credit for any of it. It's all the team that we've got around us, which is making it work. So,
agreed. Which actually reminds me, I know Dave Weston sent me a message. We've got the Marshall training weekend coming up, 2nd and 3rd of March.
Yeah, 2nd and 3rd of March.
And I know he's put out an invite for me to come along to that, so we got to see whether I can make it along and sort of experience with everyone and show the appreciation we have for the mighty Orange Army and everyone that helps the days happen. And I know we've got a couple of key people that help make the day happen. John Ford, evening all. Carl Dyson up in race control. He's waving, so he'll get his new. Kat Dalocco from the racing club as well. Evening to you, and I'm going back a little bit because apologies, I haven't had a chance to see all your messages. Joe Shingler, good evening for one of the senior officials. Our very own M, hi M, evening all, slightly late on parade. You're in plenty of time, Em. That's absolutely fine.
It's only me babbling on. She knows most of it anyway.
It's fine. Trevor Jones, Russell Pointer Brown, Alan Cooper. Hi, everyone from sunny Virginia. That's why I ignored that one. Phil Dickinsider says good evening all. Emma Brown, the Formula 4 coordinator, Chris Hignall as well. Evening to all of you. Good to see Perfect Acceleration Sim Racing. We're on. I know you were on. Was it last night as well? So thank you for tuning in for this one as well. Plenty of you here. Keep the comments coming in. And I know there's a couple of questions that I will come back to. For example, Anthony Osborne, will come back to yours at the right time. But Russell Pointer Brown says, top job, Steve and team. I know what he means there. Carl Dyson says, new roof for race control.
That means he can sit in race control without getting wet when he's interviewing drivers and stuff.
Very
Hopefully,
true.
If it works.
We got air conditioning in the commentary box.
No, I'm not a chance.
Crikey.
Door open, that's what you always do.
Yeah, there's no through draft, though. That still didn't help me that time, did it? Evening, Jim Master says, Baldrick Bryan, Tina Weston, the hot hatch coordinator, evening to you. And Goose, the Quarry Hardcore, evening all. Fencing at Quarry. If I miss something, just the catch fencing goes a little bit further around, mate. That's all it is, so don't panic. Steve, thank you so much for those updates, mate. I'm sure we may well get some other questions that will pop in. You're not going anywhere other than the green room. You can.
Yeah, no problem.
I will see if you're not sat there, by the way, so it's okay.
Yeah, no problem.
But we will get the next person in and catch up with them. But thank you for the updates, Mr. Weston.
No problem. See you shortly.
Thanks, mate. Straight into George Marhallsay. Good evening, George. How are you, my friend?
Yeah, good thanks, Chris. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, mate. I'm not too bad. Obviously, I've changed the banner there because we're now into the marketing updates. You've been busy as well as during the course of this winter. It has not been a downtime at all, is it?
Yeah, mainly just building a new website and stuff like that. But yeah,
And
that's kind of yeah.
new website and new microsites I see have popped up for some of the events as well.
Yeah, no, it's still the same website, but it's like event pages and stuff. But yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's just basically building it back similar to what we had before and making sure everything works. Some of it's quite bespoke, but it's like, yeah, it's exciting, really exciting for like the next stage for how we can like develop it and stuff. But yeah, a lot of custom data, that kind of thing.
It's one of those things that looks brilliant when it's done, but it's such a
Yeah,
challenge
it looks
until
really
you
cool.
get to that stage, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's it, and it's making it more user friendly and everything. But there's a lot of stuff, a lot of departments here, a lot of businesses.
Is that an ongoing process? Is there still more to do on that?
Yeah, ongoing. We're just at the moment like trying to work out the back end and stuff like that to make sure it's all like works the same for everyone in the office as it did before, and everyone's up to speed, and at the same time making sure it's like as user friendly as possible, like as little clicks, that kind of thing.
Yeah, you've got to make it as easy as possible. The journey's got to be simple, hasn't it? I know from where I work on things like that is that, yeah, you don't want it to be too many clicks because they'll lose interest.
But getting as much content on there as possible, do you know what I mean? So people can, especially what we do, is like it can be confusing if you're not into motor racing or action days and just understand it, content. So,
and that's the key thing when we're talking the circuit here, as opposed to the racing club, is that you've got racing, you've got action days, you've got racing school and other driving experiences, you've got car boot sales, you've got steam events. I mean, it literally is. You have to be able to encompass absolutely everything on the Castle Combe Circuit website.
Yeah, I think it's about 6 direct businesses if you include the shop as a separate business. But yeah.
And incidentally, and it kind of leads us on to that nicely, is the shop as well, which looks a wonderful looking place, and you can let us know if there's anything new to expect. But you've really been pushing that the shop items are available online as well. Yeah,
online shop. It's something we started, I think, it must have been a few years ago. It was with the racing club items with Pete and stuff like that, and then it's just going, and then it's like, now it's going to be. Yeah, we want to step it up again, if you know what I mean. But yeah, it's all like reporting and stuff like that is where I get quite geeky. But yeah,
we love that in marketing because it means we know what's happening. We get the bigger picture, so that's important. The shop, then, I mean, obviously we saw that it was completely redone and a lovely looking space. Anything new in it or to do with it coming into 2024?
So I think if anyone came into the shop regularly last season, they would have seen we probably changed the layout around about every other show, I think. But we've added a bit more of the like piping and stuff, so there's not as many shelves and stuff like that, so people don't have to lean down and stuff to pick up the items. But that should mean we can get more stuff out, hung up. Looks good, basically. So basically, and some more like closed display bits. So we want to get more of our stuff in, plus then more of the sponsors and stuff from what Max has been working on. So it's really exciting, to be honest.
No, I like the sound of that. I mean, it is a great space. So website, shop, marketing plans for events, I know was a headline that you put as well.
Yeah, that's something which I do. Like that's like that's what my main day-to-day is. It's been kind of delayed a lot this year, but yeah, it's just like looking how to improve our events, looking at what other people do. Basically, looking at like what our sales are and stuff like that, and trying to make decisions from that. Yeah, a lot of different stuff.
Yeah, and I mean that's the tricky. I mean, it's interesting where you said that is looking what other people are doing, but that doesn't mean you're able to just simply rinse and repeat and just copy because you've still got to make it the Castle Combe slant on it, haven't you?
Yeah. Market research is just like but then it's trying to do what we do as well, I guess. But it's just building everything up to a standard, and I think especially with the new management team, it's all exciting. We've all got like good ideas, and we want to like grow the events as best as they can be. So.
Yeah, and I think that's the key thing, is that everybody's focusing on a different element. I'm just going to quickly put this one up because Chris Mason's just said, "Good evening, all. Hope you're all well." Chris, you probably missed it. Is that we send our heartfelt commiserations to yourself and Emma for the loss of your father, Christopher, and all our love to you, mate. And it's great to see you there, buddy. And I hope Josh is doing all right as well with his grampy. But so that's website, marketing plans in general, the shop, season passes, where we've got these 3 different flavors in effect.
Yeah, so we've got the 2 we've had for the last few years, the race days and the super season tickets. The super season pass, sorry. Super season passes, race days and the car shows. And and then we've also got a shows one, which is just for like action days this year, and action days and rally day. I call it car shows. But yeah, I think there's with Max and stuff, there might be an idea. One day of a bike show as well. But yeah,
of course, yeah. We'll have to pick that up on him. Yeah, I mean, I was looking at it earlier. So you've got, apologies, I'm reading this off of my phone now. So you got the race day season pass, which gives you admission to all of the race meetings. Weekend admission to the Autumn Classic. Weekend admission to the Motorcycle Grand National. You get 10% discount in the shop at all times. 10% discount in the cafe all year at all times, free race day programs and exclusive email promotional discounts. The show season gives you access to all of the action day car shows through the year, plus Rally Day XL. Remember, Rally Day XL, we'll talk about with Rich in a moment, is a 2-day event. You get 2 tickets to an outdoor cinema screening at some point during this year, 10% discount in the shop, 10% in the cafe and the emails. And then the super season pass gives you access to all of the racing days, all of the action days, weekend admission to Autumn Classic and the Motorcycle Grand National, the Rally Day XL, free race day programs, 2 tickets to an outdoor cinema screening, 10% discount in the shop, 10% discount in the cafe, exclusive email promotions, and a partridge in a pear tree.
Yeah. Yeah, I should have had that ready, shouldn't I?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. I mean, it just 3 different variations there that people can do. So, I mean, really a lot of thought going into the marketing side here.
Yeah, and concessions prices are back for all of them. So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that was a godsend when that one came back in again, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense, George. Anything else that you want to add that you've covered?
So obviously, mainly most of my job is promoting stuff, and we've got ARDs coming up one next Monday. I think if you order you might be a bit late now to be able to get a Motorsport UK pack for next Monday, but we've also got one the following Monday, and all of our experiences, which are our racing school, learn to play. You can drive a real race car around a real racetrack. Rally experience driving around a rally track here and start line. So yeah,
of course. I did notice there's quite a good number of dates for the ARDS test, isn't there? So I like the look of that because I keep threatening to get my race license as well. So look into that and you can find out how to go. But you got to get, as George said, there is that we need to get the Motorsport UK bundle before you get to go and do that. So go and get that and then look at plus the racing school. I have great fun hosting that. I mean, we're now on the verge, George, ready to sort of put it all into action then.
Yeah. We're almost like a month away from Spring Action Day, which is always the big one. But then Media Day, it's getting exciting to see it. We're going to have all the different partners there and stuff. I've got a few media partners just to be announced as well. So yeah, it's exciting.
It really is. It really is. George, thank you so much, mate. Stay there because we'll put you back into green room and we'll have everyone back so that we can answer all questions together. But keep up the great work on the marketing, mate.
Thanks, Chris.
Cheers, George. Well, just very quickly before we bring out the next victim, the next guest, let's just catch up on a couple of the messages that have come in because I know that I haven't been able to bring them up. Nick Workman says, greetings all. Chris Mason, we just said, thank you all so much for your kind words and condolences. Sorry for not stopping around. Joshy says, thank you too. Bless you, mate. Jake Wardle. Jake, I did get your message. I will reply as soon as I can, mate. I promise you it's just been a bit tricky. George will be pleased to hear this one because Jamie Peters-Ennis says, just clicked onto the website and it looks fantastic. Don't forget, it is up there. There is the website address. So go and have a look. Thank you for your comment there. Bristol Detailing Supplies, evening, mate. Good evening, boys, he says. Lynn Bates, good evening. Keith Rain, hello, mate. He says, evening all as well. And I think that largely means I've caught up with most of them. Apologies if I've missed any of their messages. It's always good when you come piling in with them. But we got so many guests and so much information, and it will be good to catch up with you. Jake Ward says, thanks, Chris. It would be great if possible. The answer is yes, mate, but we'll cover the details of that in more detail when I get you on. Right, let's bring out the person who knows all the details about the events. Rich, hello, mate. How you doing?
You all right?
Yeah, good, mate. Can you believe that we're actually sat there on the cusp of getting all of these events back underway again?
Let's say yes, because we're on a live stream. No, it's been an interesting winter. Very exciting from all angles, and yeah, I get to play a part of that, which is very, very exciting.
But it doesn't seem 5 seconds ago that you did that great setup at the Halloween action day, and it's like, yeah, we've had all sorts thrown in the middle of that, and we're ready to get going again. It's incredible.
Well, Halloween was a great start, I guess, to the break of winter, as people like to call it. But as Steve's mentioned, George mentioned, and I'm sure me and Max will go on to mention, it's not really a break for us. It's from a management perspective, it's one of the busiest times. You know, we're getting contracts signed, we're getting extra attractions and conversations with people, and the event schedule to get. It's quite an intense few months, and then a nice Christmas break in the middle.
Yeah, it really is. The first one that we've got coming up then is now actually we will.
Let's do media day.
Well, yes, we can. I just know that you were going to sort of like that. Max was going to mention that as well. But we've got media day in 3.5 weeks' time, and there. Obviously, the Castlecombe Racing Club kind of started this a few years ago, restarted it because it used to be way back in the day. Great opportunity to sort of get the media in, get the drivers in, testing the cars ready ahead of the season. But you guys have really grabbed it by the scruff of the neck and trying to make it even more than that, really.
So, yeah, this was something sort of early doors, conversations with Graham, conversations with Kat about what is the first thing we do in the new season. And it was the media day, kind of like a track day. I'm using my terminology here that I've just learned from the team of like a shakedown for the race drivers to come down and make sure the cars still work, hopefully not test the fencing at quarry, like all those sort of bits and stuff. So, you know, we had conversations and Graham was like, you know, there's some events around the country that, you know, are big when it comes to putting different motorsports people together, having that sort of networking vibe. Why don't we do something ourselves? So, you know, me and Max and the team, we sort of brought heads together, had nice long conversations with Kat about, okay, you have the media day happening, that's the track sort of stuff taken care of. Obviously you'll be there, people like Sam and that will be there, but for us it's like we are going into a period of having a lot of sponsors this year, lots of partners working with us, people that we've built working relationships with over the last year, and people we will continue to build those relationships with. Let's sort of have an open day. So there's an official title that I know Kat's going to tell me off because I'm inevitably going to get it wrong, where it's like the Castlecombe Circuit Open Day featuring the racing club's media day. So it's like, you know, it's a free, George mentioned it as well, we got free tickets online. We want people to download a free ticket because that helps us with our, you know, digital ticketing that we've moved in to do for this year as well. So for us, it's like a bit of a test, but at the same time, come down to the circuit, look at all the improvements that Steve's been talking about, meet the sponsors that Max has been working with and brought in, come and see the shop, check out all of our, you know, exciting events and activities we've got coming up, and then meet the team, come and chat to us, give us your feedback, and yeah, we'll be there.
Well, I'm just sort of reading ahead here, but Matt Crozier says, with the Autosport show being so expensive, is there scope to make the open day a bit more technical and sales based? I mean, I guess that there's no real answer to that yet, other than there's a suck it and see as to what your venture or growth of it this year, and then okay, what more could we make it?
Well, to be honest, me and Max have already had the discussions about how this year's open day feeds into 2025. Like 2025 will be a whole Combe TV episode, I'm sure, with it being our 75th anniversary. But for us, it's like to kickstart our 75th anniversary next year, it will be this open day media day event. So what will that look like? So, you know, we're not by any stretch trying to be like Autosport or like Race Retro and stuff like that. We are Castle Combe Circuit. This is for our clubs, our partners. It's not open for just anybody to sort of come down and sort of sell their wares effectively. It's more of just like our community and what we're doing at the track. You know, we don't say no to anybody. That's not what I'm saying. There's always that opportunity for people to get involved and come down and see what we do. And this is what that will be.
And in fairness, Matt backed that up as well by saying, great to see such a proactive management. And I think that's where you've got the four of you working together, focusing on the different things. That's what it really brings to light for me. I was just looking to see where people get the tickets for this, for the media day. Do you know?
Yeah, if you just search, I think it's open day on our website. It should take you straight to the page.
Okay. I'll have a look for that, because then it means we can put the link. There we go. Yeah. So and that's a good point. If you hit the magnifying glass on the website and just search open day, and it will take you to it. However, what I will do is I'm going to put it in the comments so that people have got it, as well as adding it as a banner. So it goes to show that this is live. So it is castlecombecircuit.co.uk/shop/Castle Combe Open Media Day 2024 tickets. So it's a little bit long, but I have put it in the comments so that you'll be able to click that. But just do a search on the website for Open Day and it will take you to it, because I did exactly that. And there it is. And you just add however many you want, zero charge to the cart. And that's gives you the ability to turn up for the day, and I like that, the fact that it is open air. You get to see the cars shaking down for the first time. I will have a setup with cameras and interview booths, and we should be catching up with drivers, with sponsors, with management, and whatever else takes my fancy during the course of that day. And we'll be broadcasting it live as well. And that's really, we're trying to fire our own starter pistol, aren't we?
Exactly that. I mean, one of the things I'll talk more about when we talk about the action day is like the relationship we're building with Red Bull being involved. And again, not trying to take away from what Max will talk about later, but that's a partnership we've got where their support for events in the shop and in the cafes and stuff like that is going to be sort of integral. So for us, it's like, these are just all the new things like that we'll be able to show off about, like showcase. Like I'm really excited for people to be able to come in that day through our new entrance, see liquor paint where it's needed to be, but that's not the covering. I mean, Steve touched on it as well about the investment in things like the electrics in race control, like the roof being redone. It's all the bits that not everyone might not necessarily know is happening. But I mean, the comment from someone then about the proactive management, that's from us and from all the team that work there. Like everything is sort of being looked at and putting into its priority one way or another, and events is definitely one of those categories as well.
Agreed, absolutely. So that's March 16th that we've got the media day. All sorts going on. Keep your eyes peeled, and as I say, we'll be broadcasting live from it as well. Forgive me, I've forgotten what the date is, but the Spring Action Day, I should know because I'm hosting it.
23rd is 1 week later.
1 week later, okay. So the following week, the Spring Action Day, and that sort of is then the starter pistol for the Action Day season.
Exactly. So I mean, that's our big start to the year. I mean, you know, without going into too much detail, it's selling as it always has done. People are excited. You know, we've had meetings with like the drift teams and stuff coming back. We've redeveloped our trade area to get more opportunities for traders and stuff to come in. Like we're working closely with the catering team to work on like food and stuff like that. Like spring is that welcome back. You know, this is what you've missed. This is what we're doing type thing. So spring for us is great. And again, going on the Red Bull side of things, that's one thing we're working with, is they have tiered support for events, and they understand the importance of Spring Action Day being their tier 1. So I mean, we've agreed things like simulation rigs coming down. They'll bring celebrities where they can, and I'll have to say celebrities. I think people like Max Verstappen might be busy. But you know, it's the racing world, so it's lots of connections and stuff that they have, that they're, you know, fully back in what we do. I mean, the classic things happen as well. Again, Max is going to tell me off, but you know, we've got passenger rides and stuff coming back with like a different sort of new style and stuff. Like we've got
Beamers, isn't it? Yeah, I saw that news
they
piece.
look good. We had a bit of an exclusive look at what they'll potentially look like, all logoed up and stuff like that. They're very beautiful. But for us, it's how we not necessarily change everything about what we're doing. It's just how we can kind of try and improve the service to the people coming in, but also how that benefits the circuit. Obviously, Steve will go and tell us all the stuff he wants to do, and it's like, how do we find the money to do that? You know, sponsorship's one thing, and putting on the events more and more people want to come to, it is another.
Agreed. Yeah, absolutely. I will bring this up. Anthony Osborne put a comment / question earlier, reference ticketing for the Spring Action Day. He says he bought tickets last week, but he hasn't had any tickets or email confirmation. He contacted the guys through the website, through the rapid response bit, as it says, but he's not had any response. Any ideas what he should do?
If you give us a call in the office, like George has said, like, you know, the website is great. It's a massive improvement on what we've had in the past, but it is still new. There will be a box that wasn't ticked on our end or something like that. Like, it's not an uncommon thing that we've been dealing with in the past, and we're sort of much more closer to being 100%. But yeah, it's just bugs on our part, being a brand new website.
So phone in
on that for sure. Just give us a call and we can check, or email the info box and it will go to the right person as well.
So what's that? info@castlecombecircuit.co.uk. So there you go, Anthony. Phone the office or info@castlecombecircuit.co.uk, and it will just get picked up, because there's
first thing is not to worry, it is there.
Yeah, you'll be fine, absolutely fine. Don't panic about that. And of course, there's e-tickets and all of that sort of stuff these days. Talking about the media day, is Graham Conlon said, got mine already, looking forward to it. So he's definitely looking forward to sorry, I just suddenly read something then. He's looking forward to the media day, as are we. The Spring Action Day, we then go into Easter Monday is the first race day. So what's that, 1st of April, isn't it?
1st of April, it's the first race day, but obviously, hopefully people have seen it's the 500th car race meeting at Combe Circuit, and we can thank our fantastic archivist, Pete, who updates us on these sort of things. Very much very excited this is happening, you know, from our perspective. Yeah, great. I mean, we've got a fantastic race schedule lined up throughout the whole year. Like, Kat and the team have done fantastically well, giving me the sort of tools to add more stuff to the race days, and Howard's Day is obviously the first one for that. With that, we're looking at the action that's happening on track and how we can get displays off track. We think, you know, there's a lot of scope out there, like the different types of cars that are coming down that are there to race. What do their counterparts look like? How can we get some of them down? And so there's something extra for people to come and see whilst they're there. Also, conversations dotting around with the race meetings about our lack thereof at the minute of some trade, appropriate trade, enough trade, and, you know, locations and stuff like that. So lots of conversations in the office about, you know, the activity that happens at a race day is great. Lots happening on the track. We're very blessed with a number of spectators we do have. We just want to entertain and bring more in. Talks about getting people to bring their children to get more involved as well, but we have to then cater for that. As exciting as race car driving is for a lot of us, you know, a lot of the younger audiences and stuff like that, they want to do different things. Now, I thought chatting to people, and it will be for some of them, you know, you got your fun fairs and your inflatables and stuff like that. My wife's a teacher, and she was like, people just want a PlayStation nowadays. Put the young kids with a PlayStation in the corner or something, and you'll be happy. Well, they'll be happy, but yeah, it's exciting. There's a lot going on, and then throughout the race season, there's something to pin our hat to for every single race day that isn't just what's happening on track. It's about, again, my job to entertain off track as well.
No, and I love that, because I remember back to when I was a youngster up at Quarry Corner, and it was the stalls that were there that I could go and spend my pocket money on some race memorabilia or something like that, or a cap or a T-shirt or whatever it might be. You know, there would be all sorts going on, and because kids kind of pay attention for a while, they're like goldfish, aren't they? And then they'll sort of lose focus for a bit, and then they're back. But they're the future and all of that. I know it's a cliche, but it is genuinely true. So, you know, that makes sense. The fact that the 500th race day at Castle Combe Circuit is Howard's Day is just so perfect. You know, the saviour of Castle Combe Racing Circuit, Howard's Day, Howard Strawford, absolutely brilliant. And of course, we've got the 500s racing as well on the 500, and they were racing on the. It was either the first race meet or certainly the first year the 500s raced here as well, which was kind of almost the Formula Fords of their day, if you will.
Yeah, so obviously someone learning the race trade and stuff as I do, it's very much like people say to me, is a motorbike engine slapped in as light as a car as possible, and then they fired it around the track. So that's what I get told, and that's what I research and see. And yeah, it's going to be. It's a lot to be excited about. And then, yeah, for Howard's Day to fall on that day was, you know, it was just perfect, I think. Like, you know, it's you know, we've got people like Pete that keep an eye on these sort of things. And it's like, you know, that's the sort of thing where we're like, yeah, that's great how those two things are aligned.
I agree, 100%. I know this is a bit later in the year, but this is something that's close to your heart as well. Rally Day isn't actually Rally Day this year, is it?
It's not, no. In answer to your question, no. It's an extra large Rally Day because there's two of them. Rally Day was something I joined in May. Rally Day was in July this 2023, so I was just along for the ride to see what was going on, and the team obviously did a fantastic job. I think Rally Day in itself has had a bit of a bad rep over the last sort of couple of years, and I think for various reasons and stuff like that, we've got to that point now where it's like things need to change. It's been on my radar since before Rally Day last year. You know, it was very much okay, as we look forward to 2024, what can we do, what can we improve? So we've done things. We've met with lots of local clubs, we've brought in like experts and stuff like that, alongside built a committee around Rally Day, so it's more of a all hands on deck type thing to make it a success. We're going to be releasing a lot more information over the coming weeks as stuff gets signed off. There's stuff I can't mention right now, but you know, that's like 99% over the line. But you know, until you have that signed on a bit of paper, you never want to announce it. But for us, the things that we can talk about, which is very exciting, is it's 2 days because we're introducing a full live rally stage, which Rally Day, we're just excited to bring it into Rally Day. So working with Bath Motor Club and the team down there, we spoke to them, we approached them and said, you know, a lot of the feedback we've got is like, why not have a stage as part of the day, the 2 days in itself? So the rally stage starts at 4 o'clock on the Saturday. There's a couple of stages that take you up till 6 o'clock. And then all of Sunday is pretty much stage orientated. There'll be some small pockets of trade and stuff like that going on, but the real emphasis is on track, on the perimeter road as well. Like there's areas that spectators won't be able to go into because the designs that the team have put together are absolutely fantastic. Like, you know, I'm like, how are they going to drive a car down here and then I'm not a rally driver, I'm not a co-driver. Again, just along for the ride. But for us, I mean, it's listening to that feedback and offering something exciting. We are in talks with loads of different companies and personal owners, private owners and stuff like that to bring down the best cars that we can. We're getting the celebrities back down. We've got some real celebrations and stuff like that to shout about this year. And like I said, I'm not going to steal the thunder of some press releases and stuff we got coming up, but I'm very excited about Rally Day coming as we move forward. And yeah, 2024 is going to be the start of some real changes to what we do as a Rally Day event.
And I love it. I'm looking forward to that. I know that you booked me to sort of be on the mic at various places for that, and we're going to have some fun. I think that was basically your remit, was as simple as that, was that let's have some fun with this. And you know I love that. It's just you know, jumping on the mic and having a giggle with everybody that's there, and I'm looking forward to that. I genuinely am. Now, equally as big as that one, but a slightly different sort of profile to it, is the Autumn Classic. And that's back as a 2-day. And from what I hear from the likes of Ian Danaher, could have been a 3 or 4 day for the amount of people that wanted to race at that. And so it's going to be big yet again.
So expert planning on our part, that is 1 week before the weekend or rally day. So a busy September,
Nice.
a busy September. But I mean, for us, if we look at the costing of events and stuff like that, a lot of the infrastructure we put in for Autumn Classic, we can remain for rally day, so we can add more elements to it that we haven't done in the past. For us, the big thing is Autumn Classic is the crowds that come. Last year, for 2023, we had an absolutely fantastic showing. The banks were full, the car parks were full. We were close to running out of space for people. Like, you know, the action on track, the marquee that we had with hospitality. You know, there was all these different elements that were just great. Like, it was the first event last year that I really sort of got more involved in. Like, you know, I can't say I took the lead and stuff or anything like that. Everyone was holding my hand, especially through it, to help me through. But I mean, there was things like, you know, there's people that everyone wanted to come and chat. I mean, we worked with like Joe Cox, a fantastic person to know, that helped us set up the Lotus marquee, for example, displaying all the cars from the last 75 years of Lotus. Like, that was as busy, if not busier, than a lot of other places around. Like, we took the time, we put the effort in, like, where a lot of things we'd maybe done a little bit later for last year, and predominantly in the past it had been later editions. This was something for 2024 especially, we were planning the week after 2023's event. Like, this is what I'm here to do. This is what, you know, we as a team are here to do, to look after the stuff off track. Going back to Ian and Kat, you should see the list. I mean, it might already be out. I haven't seen the website. The list of races we've got going on and the amount of packed grids. It's not even like just a lot of, it's just packed grids of people that understand what Autumn Classic is. You know? Like, it's a weekend for a reason. And yeah, Ian and the team are right. Like, you could do Autumn Classic a week. I mean, it's too loud and probably wouldn't draw the crowds during the week, but you could.
Well, he definitely said easily third day, and he'd have had the grids full for that as well. I mean, there was that many people wanting to come back. And I mean, it's summed up by Jamie Peters' Ennis comment here. Says the Autumn Classic last year was fantastic, absolutely gutted. It clashes with an event he works at, so he'll miss it. So the fact that he's gutted, he's missing it, that shows you that flick, doesn't it?
Well, for me, I've chatted to Jamie a few times online. I'd be very much just like, just come to Autumn Classic.
Yeah, he'll be working at that other one. Yeah. So yes, I understand that, and I love the fact, I know that George and I had spoken about this previously, is that he and I remember back to the days when there was so much going on off circuit as well, that you would sort of like watch, you would wander, you would do, you would watch, you would wander, you would do. And Autumn Classic sort of is almost the flagship of bringing that back to the race days, isn't it?
So for us, I mean, that's exactly it. Like, there is an understanding, and there's proof in the pie. Like, you know, the numbers of people that came to see the Autumn Classic this year were phenomenal. A lot of it was down to the fantastic event manager. Also, a lot of it was down to the weather. I think, which
I know we've had the flip, haven't we, when we had the bad weather and we lost the second day. So, you know, that happens. But we've got a stage, you've got music, you've got just a whole raft of things.
It's something where you're entertained on and off the track, or for a whole weekend, not even just all day. Exactly. Like, we ran out of time for the amount of stuff we want to do. I mean, remember last year we had like the vintage buses around at lunchtime, whilst also having a grid walk. So it was, how do we navigate those two things happening at the same time and stuff? Because, you know, Kat and the team bringing the grid walks in is fantastic. I was lucky to come to May Madness this year before I started. I think that was the Monday and I joined on the Wednesday. And just to be able to get onto the track and see the Bentleys and, you know, the Benchfields, it was just, I was in awe. I was like, you know, this doesn't normally happen. And, you know, things like the winner's car, like, stuff that used to happen in the past, and people love it. So we do that. We get autographs of all the winners and stuff. Like, it's stuff like that for us, which really hits home. And I don't know if Max is going to mention this in more detail, but we saw a success at Walton Classic with hospitality, bringing back Paddock Club for people to have that food on offer all day, have a nice view of the track. Like, you know, it's those sort of things that we're bringing back for every race day for 2024. Like, it's live on the website now, for example. But again, always fire over the questions and stuff like that you might have, because this is what people want. Like, this is what people are telling us they want. So yeah, we listen and we do.
In the private chat, Steve Weston said there's no time for Max now. There is. Shut up, Weston. He's fine. No, it's not fine by you, Max. It's fine. We'll have plenty of time for it. But I mean, it probably does lead on to sort of like bring in Max in a second, because the events you've been working hard. It's really exciting. How do you personally feel now? Do you sort of like feel kind of like, oh, thank goodness it's about to start? Do you feel nervous because you're now hoping it comes to fruition how you've seen it, or are you just point blank excited and cannot wait to get it going?
For me, it's the excitement. You know, it's coming into the office of a morning and, you know, chatting to the team and like what's happening with this. I mean, my day will start like 8 o'clock in the morning. I'll have a chat with Steve over a coffee, and he'll talk to me about the excitement of, like, you know, the fencing being done or the toilets being repainted and stuff like that. A genuine excitement and buzz around the track. And, like, you know, then conversations later in the day will be with George and the media partnership agreements and stuff he's been working on, and the excitement of these sort of high tier people that are coming to the track and being more involved. And then Max pulling the sponsorships from every which way. But for me, it's like all these bits that everyone contributes to, I get to enforce in events as well, you know. Like, it's sort of like Graham will say, oh, every day is an event day. Like, there's always, if someone's at the track doing something, it is an event day. And it's like, yeah, I love it. I've always loved events. I've worked in events for over 20 years. Like, you know, whether it's a running event happening or a racing event or an action day, you know, we've got a lot going on this year. We're pushing the boundaries on some of the things we might not have done before, like not just with ourselves, but with the partners and stuff coming down, like the Masters of Motoring event in June.
Yeah,
they've got some real exciting cup vehicles and stuff like that coming down. So I can't just say cars, because the conversation we had the other day, like, they've got some exciting vehicles and stuff like that. So for us, for me especially, it's excitement. Like, I can't wait for media day. Our first sort of, our anticipation isn't necessarily, you know, hope it all comes to fruition. It's people, the looks and the conversations and the comments you get when people do come in and see the improvements we're doing around the track, and then the improvements we're doing with everything else that happens, you know.
No, I'm with you 100%, and I genuinely cannot wait. Well, thank you for your hard work during the course of all of that. And just a quick couple of comments. David Campion from Wiltshire College. Hello, everyone. Sorry, just got home from Combe himself. Bless you, mate. You're still here. Daniel Williams says, she's good to you, Dawes. Yes, she is. You spotted that she bought me a refill, mate. I know she
Wasn't
is.
subtle.
Yeah, no. Hey, you're lucky. Normally, there's the hand comes in, but the as she it gets called the current Mrs. Dawes. I get beaten up for that later, but brings me a refill. And you're right, she is very good to me. Rich, thank you, mate, and we'll see you. I mean, obviously, we're going to bring everyone back on again just to wrap up at the end, but we'll see you properly as well at the media day, of course.
Fantastic. See you soon, mate.
Thanks, mate. Definitely not going to run out of time for you, mate. No chance.
Thank God for that. Starting to get away.
I'm sorry, but thank you for your patience, buddy. I know that you've been there for over an hour now waiting, so I appreciate it. But Max Symonds, the commercial manager, my gosh, I mean, you really have been incredibly busy. When I look at the list that you got through to me of sponsors and partners and everything like that, you've really rolled your sleeves up this winter.
Yeah, definitely. I think when it comes to sort of sponsorships and partnerships, this winter period is in a way the busy period for it, because that's when everyone's looking at their plans for 2024. They're refining their budgets and looking at what's available and what's out there. So yeah, we've just been busy chatting to everyone that's kind of involved in motorsport and is interested in Combe and seeing, you know, who can come and join us and add a bit of value to the circuit.
Well, exactly. I mean, take us through. I mean, like you said, is the list is so
Yeah.
big. I need to just wind you up and let you go now, don't I?
Yes, it's quite a big list to run through, and you know, we're already an hour in, so I'll try and rattle through it quite quickly. But yeah, I guess the first sort of group of sponsors and partners to talk about is those with the racing club. I'll touch on My Race Lab just quickly because I know we've spoken about them on previous episodes, and Paul was actually on, I think, the last Combe TV episode as well. But yeah, just kind of wanted to mention it again because I think it's kind of the perfect example of the kind of thing we're looking for with sponsors and partnerships, is that, you know, we've got their brand associated with the circuit. They're, you know, providing support for the circuit, financial and otherwise, but they're really going to be adding a lot of value to the experience for the racing drivers and the teams through them being present on all the race days and being available to give free support in people using their products. And, you know, from my own experience in racing, it's telemetry and data logging and all that kind of thing is a very expensive thing to do, and it's quite often reserved to those with big budgets and big teams. So it's
confusing for a lot of people, and yet they're really talking about simplifying this and making it available to the masses, not just financially, but to understand what the hell this means. Yeah,
exactly. So I think, you know, I think that for me is really exciting, and it's really just the perfect example of the kind of things we look for with partnerships, is that it's people that are going to, you know, add value to the circuit and to add value to the people that are coming to the circuit as well, because that's the most important thing. But yeah, so I'll move on from them. The next sponsor we've got for the racing club is Gulf Race Fuels. So they're coming on board as the title sponsor of the Formula Ford Series, or Championship, sorry. So yeah, again, I think it's quite an exciting one. Gulf are obviously a very established brand with a great history within motorsport. It's, you know, it's the iconic sort of orange and blue Gulf colors. It's going to be really cool having that around the circuit. And, you know, I think that's, you know, it adds another level of credibility to the Formula Ford Series, which is already massive and, you know, one of the biggest in the country already. And for us as well, there's the added benefit that we're going to be able to sell Gulf Race Fuels at the circuit. So it's something that, again, I think since pre-COVID, we haven't sold any fuel at the circuit. So, you know, if you've come for a track day or a race event and you've run out of fuel, or you've not brought fuel with you, you've had to head off at the site down to the local motorway or the local fuel station to go and get your fuel. Whereas, you know, now we're going to have race fuel available on site. We're also going to have it available for pre-order as well. So if you're planning on coming for a track day or race day or any of our events, and you want to have fuel available when you arrive, you'll be able to pre-order that through the website or through the office. Still refining exactly how that's going to work, so I can't share that yet. But yeah, from the first event onwards, we'll definitely have fuel available on the site for people to buy as well. So I think that's going to be a nice thing, and I guess it's kind of convenient for the people that are using the track as well, hopefully. So yeah, that's a really nice one. The next is Samco, who are coming on board as the title sponsor of the Hot Hatch Series. Again, funnily enough, Samco were working with the circuit up until COVID, and, you know, as many things did, it kind of stopped for various reasons, you know, financial and otherwise. But it's great to kickstart that relationship again and get Samco back working with the circuit. They're already, I guess, their products are heavily sold on site already through Merlin Motorsport that are based within the circuit. So yeah, their products are already readily available. So it's great to have their association back again.
Just to make sure we get this right, of course, Hot Hatch is a championship this year.
That is right. Yeah, so it's the first year for the Hot Hatches being a championship. So yeah, it's really nice to be able to bring a sponsor on board as well to really give it even more publicity and, you know, hopefully make this the biggest and best year for the Hot Hatches yet.
And I love the fact Rich has just pointed out that maintenance team member Brian is competing in the Hot Hatch this year as well. So it's great to see that connection is growing even further. So thank you for that one, Rich. And thank you to Samco for the support as well. And like you say, returning, that's always a nice story, isn't it? Returning.
Yeah, definitely. You know, Castle Combe has an amazing history, and it's always great to bring people back into the fold that have been involved and have worked with the circuit and done a lot for the circuit in the past.
Yeah.
But that being said, we're also bringing on a lot of new sponsors and partners as well. So the final ones to touch on for the racing club is the title sponsor of the Autumn Classic meeting, which is Nova Aluminium. And yeah, a completely new company to the circuit. Is one that we got in contact with through Sam Preston and Flatside Media. And yeah, they're fairly local. They're based in Bristol, and they're really keen to get involved with the circuit. Really like the Autumn Classic event. I know they're kind of motorsport and classic motoring fans as well, which is always a good thing. So yeah, they're really excited to be involved in the event, to be able to bring a lot of their staff and clients down to enjoy the weekend and to help get their brand out there, and what should be a really exciting weekend. And again, sort of linking back to what value people are adding to the circuit, we're also looking to work with them to get a lot of our new signage done around the new entrance and other bits around the site. So again, there's a nice link there to it's more than just a sponsorship. There's something that they're really bringing to the circuit.
Agreed. Yeah. Unsurprisingly, Tina Weston says Hot Hatch Championship for 2024 is one to watch. She's the coordinator. She would say that, but
Okay.
I agree.
Yeah, probably right.
But it's a valid comment as well. So that's the ones for the racing club. But presumably, is that still a work? Is there still some conversations going on there as well?
Yeah. So there's still the Saloon Car and the GT Championships that are currently unsponsored, but we're having discussions in the background, and there's interest in them. So I'm still optimistic that we can hopefully get sponsors for both of those championships before we hit the first round in April. But yeah, nothing's confirmed yet. So we'll keep working on that in the background, and just I guess keep an eye out on the socials and the websites for some more announcements.
Fabulous. Okay. Next stop then is the Action Day sponsors and partners.
Yep. So just as of last night, we've reconfirmed Bristol Detailing as the sponsor of the Show and Shine competition, which is great news. I think they've kind of become synonymous with that element of the Action Days over recent years, and Rich and the whole Bristol Detailing team bring a really great stand and presence to the event. So it's brilliant to get them confirmed and signed up for another year. And then kind of sort of adding on to that and adding on to the Show and Shine element of the events, we've got Shades Wraps coming on board this year to be the title sponsor and the judges of the best wrapped competition, which previously has kind of sat within Show and Shine. But when we looked at it at the end of last year, we kind of felt that it needed a little bit more focus behind it, and we needed to bring in someone that's a real specialist in wrapping to give the award, I guess, the credibility that it needs, and to make sure that we're really choosing the best wrapped cars out there, and that the people who are doing that really know their stuff. And Shades Wraps are a local company, so it's always great to be working with people in the local area, and they really, when it comes to wrapping, they really do seem to know their stuff. So I think that's going to be a great added element to the Show and Shine and the best wrapped part of the Action Days. Agreed,
definitely.
Then next one is Also Works. So anyone that's been to Action Days in the past has seen them. They come along as a trader to a lot of our Action Days. But this year we're bringing them on board to run all of our passenger laps. So they've kindly offered to put up their two BMWs in sort of co-wrapped Castle Combe Auto Works branded colours and logos, available for all the charity passenger laps across all 6 Action Days.
Cool.
So yeah, they'll be running from the pit lane, and they'll be set up opposite the Strawford Centre as well. Anyone that wants to do a passenger lap on any Action Day, you can pre-order them online, or you can buy them in the office on the day. We've kind of set a limit to the amount that people can buy online, so that there'll always be at least half of the tickets for passenger rides will be available on the day. So you don't need to worry about missing out. But at the same time, you can get ahead and get them booked in advance. But yeah, so we're really, really excited about that. I think we've had a look at the initial designs for the cars this week, and I think they're going to look really smart. And again, it's just going to help get that new Castle Combe branding out there. And they've kindly offered to do it for a really, I guess, a generous deal, which means that we can really make sure that the most of the money that's raised from that does go to the charities. So that's really great, and we really appreciate their support there. So that's that's going to be really exciting, and I think I'll try and squeeze myself out for a passenger lap.
I'm not surprised that you and your good lady will jump in any of the cars. You're
of
bonkers,
course,
you
yeah.
two. You are bonkers, you
Anything
two.
for a bit of excitement.
Exactly. The next one is a returnee, and I'm delighted to see these guys back again.
Yeah, so we've got Infinity Exhaust back again as title sponsors of the Spring Action Day, and likewise we've also got Forge Motorsport confirmed as the title sponsor of what has become known the Forge Action Day. So it's great to have both of those back on board. It's it's long established relationships that the circuit have had, and ones that we're really keen to continue with for the future. I think both of them bring a really exciting and interesting element to those action days, to the point where they they have become very synonymous with those events. It's they're very incorporated with the logo. They're kind of in people's mind. They're just seen as part of those events. Forge, for example, that action day is just known as Forge Action Day. If they weren't a part of it, we'd have to think of a completely new name. So it's brilliant to have both of those back on board for another year as well, for sure.
Absolutely, I agree, and they are synonymous, and they've been there for some time. So it's great to see them back again. Away from just action days in particular, though, incidentally, someone I'd imagine that will be there, as just said, even in everyone crystal clear polishing and detailing. I dare say you guys will be there as well, because we get the good trade village as well, where we'll get plenty of people there, and I tend to wander down with a microphone and catching up with everyone. But other circuit sponsors, and the first one, I love this because there's a link with the two-wheel racing at Castle Combe, but they're actually sponsoring a corner.
Yes, that's right. So RE Performance have had a long history with the circuit, mainly through Ricky, the owner, being a half decent racer and having a race there many times in the past with myself. He knows the track very well. They're also RE Performance themselves are a supercar workshop based in Swindon. So again, very local to the circuit. They actually already have in the past have hired the circuit to run their own supercar track days. In the past, it's been 1 day a year they've run. This year it's going up to 2. They're coming on board as a first-time sponsor for this year of Folly Corner. For people that don't know, that's the very fast right-hand kink of Turn 1. And there was the thinking behind that is RE Performance is all about high performance and high speed supercars, and Folly Corner is probably one of the fastest in the country. And if you don't have a high performing and well set up car or bike, you're not going to make it around there very well. So I think those two kind of go together hand in hand. And it's going to be great to have Ricky a bit more involved in the track for sure.
Agreed.
So that's a new one, and then kind of a very long-standing one, which we've renewed again this year, is Fowlers as the official motorbike partner of the circuit. So that relationship has been going on for I don't know how many years, but Fowlers have always been a big supporter of the circuit. They'll always bring a lot of bikes and displays down to the race meeting. They're the title sponsor of the track days. They're very keen to get involved in our bike nights when we started them off last year. So we have a great relationship with them, and we're really keen to continue that for as long as we can. So this year is kind of just about tweaking how we've done things to make sure that we can give them the best value possible, and that they can get even more involved with the circuit, and maybe we can get some more bike stuff in future.
Agreed. I love that one. And then a new name to me completely. You're gonna have to tell me about these. I should have had a look at this. Charles Saunders.
Yeah, so Charles Saunders, not new to the circuit. They haven't. Again, it's one that kind of finished around COVID, and we've kind of kickstarted that sponsorship again. But they've had a very long relationship with the circuit. They provide a lot of various items from bin bags to toilet paper to all different things that actually sort of keep the circuit running in the background. So that's we've had that relationship with them. Again, it's one of those very long ones where I wouldn't even know how long they've been working with the circuit. And they used to sponsor it back into the run up until COVID. Again, that kind of dropped off, and so we spoke to them over the summer last year, and they're really keen to get involved again. So yeah, great to have them back on board. And like I said, we've continued working with them throughout. It's just the sponsorship that's kind of picking up again this year.
Brilliant. So thank you to all of those sponsors, and the conversation's still going on. Then we move on to circuit partners. I feel like I want to dictate the order of these ones for a second now, Max.
That's fine. Go for it.
One that we've kind of touched on already, because it's a rather exciting day that we've got coming up this year, Masters of Motoring.
Yeah, so that's a completely new event to the circuit this year. So Masters of Motoring traditionally have run car shows across the country, mainly focusing on supercars, classic F1 cars, your very high-end vehicles, basically. What they're bringing to Castle Combe this year is that car show, but with the live element of cars going around the track all day. So yeah, it's kind of tricky to explain to people at the moment, because it is going to be a brand new thing for the circuit, and to some extent Masters of Motoring as well. But I guess that the easiest way to imagine it is kind of a supercar style action day. So yeah, there'll be lots of really exciting high-end and probably quite expensive cars on display all around the paddock, and yeah, going around the track throughout the day. So I think it has the potential to be really cool, and to give people a chance to see cars going around Castle Combe that they might not ever have been able to in the past, and maybe not again in the future. So I think it's certainly one that's not to be missed.
I agree. So looking forward to that one. Elevated Vision.
Yeah, so that's a company that reached out to us last year. It's a fairly new startup company, which is 2D and 3D drone mapping. So they have a very high-tech drone which they use to scan a certain area of land. In this case, it's our circuit, to create a super detailed both 2D and 3D model of the circuit. So you kind of imagine Google Earth, but a lot better, basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've been working with them since last July, August time. They've had to kind of be quite flexible and work around the fact that the circuit is basically in use up until November, and then from that point onwards, it's not that great to be capturing footage of the circuit because it's a bit dark and wet and rainy. So they kind of they're back and forth for several days, capturing bits on lunch breaks and in between stuff happening on track. So yeah, they're very flexible and kind of work to what we needed. And I've just recently been looking at kind of the first version of the finished product and the 3D model of the circuit. And I think, once we get it live and once we get it available to people on the website, it's going to be a really cool thing for, people to basically walk around the circuit from their house and, not having ever been into the circuit before, to see, every inch of it in really high detail, right down to the paint on the tires of the tire wall on the go-kart track. There's no element of the circuit or any of the other bits around the site that you won't be able to see in full 3D high detail. Wow. So I think that's going to be really cool, and it's great to have them reach out to us and kind of and offer that service. So yeah, excited to get that out and share that with people.
That's seriously cool. That is cool. A very familiar name to Castle Combe, Wiltshire College, of course. Great to see that we continue that link with those guys. Yeah.
So yeah, it's great to be working more with the college. Obviously, they're based on site, so it couldn't be better, really. There's lots of different bits and pieces that we've been talking about with them. The first things that people will see that's coming out of this will be the simulator at a lot more events. So anyone that hasn't seen it before, they've got a full sit-in simulator built in the shell of an old Caterham. So it's you literally get in the car and drive it as if you're driving the car. And the really cool thing to me is that they actually have Castle Combe circuit on there. As far as I know, unless you have a PC or perhaps a PlayStation 1, you're not able to drive or ride around the circuit on any console. So yeah, it's I had to go on it a few weeks ago, and it's great fun. So yeah, the plan is to get that at lots more events this year, action days and possibly some race days as well. So I think that's going to be really cool. We're also looking at working together with them on providing a course car. So they have a Honda Civic Type R that they've kindly offered for us to use as a course car. We'll kind of co-brand it, and then there'll be a joint partnership with the college helping to service and maintain it. So the students are getting good experience there, and then we'll have a really good car to use as our course car, which I'm sure Steve's very pleased about.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I just saw him chuckle in the background a little bit there. He is awake. He is still awake. 5 Zeros Supercar Storage.
Yes, so that's another fairly local company. So they're a supercar storage company, unsurprisingly, based near Bradford on Avon. Again, a fairly new company, and they reached out to us recently. Just really keen to work with the circuit. And again, it's nice when these kind of companies reach out to us and are just really keen to work with us because of the history that Castle Combe has and the unique thing that it can offer in terms of the circuit. So yeah, we're working with them to see how we can really build a partnership together. There's sort of going to be some small things initially, like our season pass holders are going to be offered 10% discount in their cafe and diner. Anyone that's not been there before, which I imagine is a lot of people, it's a very impressive place. You go in there and there's several Ferraris and Lotuses and McLarens and all these very cool and very expensive cars, and there's the diner is along the side. So yeah, it's a very cool place to go and have a coffee and have a bit of food if you're ever around Bradford on Avon. And yeah, if you have a season pass, even better, because you'll get a bit of a discount.
Okay, I like the sound of that one. I've not been there yet. I need to get down there and see those guys for sure. Right, 2 more. Now, what order? I'm going to do this because these are both super exciting ones in my book. And I'm going to start with one because it's already been announced, so it's not a secret. Red Bull. I mean, what a partnership.
Yeah, it's one that I think we're all very excited about. And, a lot of people have seen the news recently and have been excited about it as well because, Red Bull have such an amazing history within motorsport. And, half of the big names in motorsport at the moment are your Red Bull sponsored drivers or riders or athletes of some kind. So, Red Bull, they're just known for excitement in motorsport. You follow their social channels and there's always something they're doing that's pretty crazy and pretty new. So yeah, to have them on board as the event partner of the circuit is really exciting for us. We're looking forward to seeing the different things they're going to bring to the events. They're going to be in some form or another at all of the Castle Combe organised events. So that's all of our action days, rally day, all of the race days, including Autumn Classic as well. So yeah, they'll be present at all of those. They'll also be present at the Motorbike National at the end of July as well.
Cool.
So yeah, exciting to see what they're going to bring to those. In some cases, it's going to be something very big. In some cases, it'll be the team getting around, giving out free samples of new flavors and getting and mingling with people. But yeah, I think the first action day and the first race day will be quite big, and I think it'll be a very noticeable within the paddock.
I genuinely can't wait because they're my kind of company. It's all about the entertainment, which I just love doing. Definitely. That is really zhuzhing everything up. There you are, Rich Perry. Zhuzh. Yeah, there's a word that you need to use more often. I just seen him shake his head there. But I'm looking forward to them being involved. This one as well that's been sort of under the radar, our involvement with these guys. But judging by the fact that it's on your list, we're not sort of under radar in this anymore. Tell us about our last partnership.
Yeah, so the last one on the list is McMurtry Automotive. So if anyone doesn't know about them, I'd suggest Googling them or having a look on YouTube. But they build very high performance, high speed electric cars. It's probably the most impressive electric cars you'll see in the world. I think their first electric car has the record on the Goodwood Hill climb by something like 6 or 8 seconds, which is pretty crazy.
Which still wasn't up to full chat, was it either?
Yeah. So I think they purposely weren't invited back to do another lap record attempt because it was making everyone else look a bit silly. But yeah, so they've been using the circuit on and off over the past few years to help with testing and development of both their cars. And we're kind of building on that this year to really turn it into a strong partnership. So they're going to be at the circuit for over 20 days this year, doing a lot of testing and development of both their cars. So yeah, it's really exciting for us to see them going around the circuit and see all the team in the garage and everything that they're doing with the development of the car. And hopefully there's going to be a lot of stuff that we can build on that and around, you know, making Castle Combe more electric vehicle friendly through, you know, hopefully getting charging points on site, being able to better manage the safety of having electric cars on track and around the paddock, because, you know, they are fundamentally different to your traditional petrol and diesel engine vehicles, and there's a whole different way of managing them. And I think, you know, we've seen some examples at other race circuits where that hasn't been done properly, and there's been quite dramatic consequences because of it. So yeah, I think that there's a real benefit there for us to work with them to better understand how we can accommodate those vehicles. Hopefully we can get them down to some events in future, and kind of the long-term goal for me is to get them out on the circuit and doing a lap record attempt, which, you know, I think they'll manage.
Which will obliterate the lap record. You know,
I think so, yeah.
Make any bones about it, is that where they've been sort of messing about, I've heard that there's every chance they'll break the 60 seconds.
Yeah, I would think they do it quite comfortably. So yeah, that's something that we definitely want to work on for the future. But yeah, the plan for now is just to keep working with them more and more, and yeah, help them develop the car and bring something else that's new and exciting to Combe as well.
Agreed. And unsurprisingly, Goose from one of the Quarry Hardcore says, get them to do a lap record on race day. That would be interesting. I can assure you, Goose, we're wanting that, aren't we, Max? That's
the plan. Yeah,
exactly. That's a dream. We can't guarantee it, but that is a dream that we would want to do.
Yeah.
Obviously, it wouldn't go down as the official lap record, but it gives us a yardstick, doesn't it? And that would be just phenomenal. I think I heard stories is that it still scares the heck out of Chilton taking that car around Combe, though. And someone made a comment to him about going, what about if we took out the 2 chicanes and you did the old circuit? And he went, not on your life. And I think he actually turned white.
I think we need to add a few extra 100 meters of runoff at every corner for sure.
Exactly. I mean, the speed on that thing is just a whole other level. I've just seen another one that I would love. We've been talking about big excitements that you've been working on. I would love this one. Rob Ballard says, maybe I'll come out of retirement. Rob, you know I want that. Get yourself back out on the racetrack, mate. We'd definitely love that. It'd be good to see you out there, Mr. B. I mean, just some exciting, and in fact, I'll tell you what I did. I did this earlier, but I couldn't put it up at the wrong place. I'm going to change the banner at the bottom that now says, thanks to our 2024 sponsors and partners, and it now lists them all there that they can be scrolling through. But I thought if I did it before, it would ruin
the surprise.
But I mean, that's just a massive list of racing club sponsors, Action Day sponsors and partners, circuit sponsors, circuit partners. I mean, and there's still more that you're working on, as you said. I mean, it's just been a very busy winter.
Yeah, definitely.
Actually, I've been unfair there, haven't I, to say winter, because you keep correcting me and saying, actually, these are conversations that started halfway through last year.
Yeah, definitely. It's kind of, I started having these chats with people back when I joined in June, July. So it's, you know, some of them we've been building for a long time, and some of them have popped up quite recently. But yeah, I think in some way or another, they're all adding value to the circuit in their own unique way. It's not just a case of someone's coming and, you know, paying for a bit of advertising spaces. So they're really bringing something that's going to improve the circuit. And yeah, there's a few others that we're still working on in the background. So hopefully we can get a few more tied up before the event season starts. But yeah, keep an eye out for those.
Listen, absolutely brilliant, mate. I love it. I love it. And I know that the plan was this was just going to be a 1-hour show, but you guys have been so busy that we've had loads to work on. Let me just very quickly get rid of where am I looking? Right, let's get rid of that there. I'm going to play a quick transition video, and we're going to have us all. But Max, before we bring us all back on again, thank you for your hard work, mate. And the starter pistol's about to blow.
Certainly is.
Gents, welcome back out, one and all. I know that ended up being a lot longer show than you were hoping for, Rich. In particular, you were convinced that we'd be able to control this, but in fairness, guys, you guys have all been so busy with everything. I think we've answered the questions as we've gone, and on behalf of everyone, as speaking as a fan of Castle Combe Circuit first and foremost, thank you for everything you've done. I'm going to do a very quick round robin to then finish this one off, and I'm going to go because he's directly below me. George, any final comments before we wrap up this show?
No, I think that's everything. Just looking forward to a new season. Yeah.
I agree. No, and I agree. Now let's go across. Rich Perry, final words.
Just come down and get more involved. We've got a lot going on. Give us your feedback. Come and see the new changes, and get yourself some tickets.
I agreed, absolutely. Just very quickly is that Shays Rapsay, happy to be part of the Combe family. Can't wait to see you guys there, mate. Definitely looking forward to that. Now let's go upwards from Rich and Mr. Weston. Apologies, you've sat there because you were the first one on. Final words before we wrap this up.
Yeah, I just think as a team, the guys just got to keep up the good work, because that means I can spend more money and then make even more improvements. So yeah, keep up the good work, everybody.
And I think we all say the same to you, Steve. Keep up the great work with the way you're spending our money. Is that it is making the experience so much better, which then in turn enables these guys to put on even more. So keep it up, Steve, from your side as well. And Max, I know you were only just talking, but your final words to wrap this one up.
I think just excited to see all this work come to action. We've been busy all winter, and we've been really excited about making all these plans, and it's now the time when we're all going to see all of this start to happen, and that's going to be really exciting.
It is. Gents, thank you so much for coming on. I hope everybody's enjoyed the opportunity to catch up with the entire management team, each with their different focus. Thank you for all your comments, and I know that there was some that I didn't get to. You've been ploughing in with your comments and questions and everything else. So good to be back with you all again. Remember, 3.5 weeks, we're back for Media Day. Go and search for Open Day, so go to the castlecombecircuit.co.uk. There's a little magnifying glass search button. Press that, put Open Day, and it will take you to the page, and you'll be able to then just get the tickets. Come along. It'll be great to see as many of you there as possible. I know, Craig, you put your comment that you're planning to be sat up at Quarry Corner enjoying the Media Day, but make sure you're down in the paddock and catching up with everyone. The week after, we've then got Spring Action Day. 1st of April, we've then got Howard's Day, which is the 500th race day. I can't wait to get this one going. There's so many good partners, so many good sponsors, still more to come. The action is going to be absolutely electric. So we'll see you all at Castle Combe soon. Cheers all.
Cheers.